You know where you're going.
No, I'm lost.
You should know, man. You live here, right? By the way, why are you going so slow, man?
I mean, I have the trophy, man. The Borg Warner.
I see. I'm polishing here. Hey, look what I'm doing.
What is that?
Well, it's my new wave. Instead of going like this, it's 4, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Look at my wave.
That's right. That's it.
Okay, we're getting to the racetrack.
Are we?
Hello.
Do you know him?
He is.
Do you know who I am?
I don't know either one of you.
Where's your credential? I got paid to deliver this person here.
Ah, here we go. I found my credential. We're going to the SRX race.
Straight ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Welcome to Lucas Oil Raceway.
Saturday night, under the lights, legends.
Who will take the checkered flag?
Here we go. Buckle up.
Have no fear, Elio Castroneves and his good buddy and competitor Tony Kanaan, they've made it inside the racetrack. They've shined the trophy. Now it's time to go out and try to get another win. With that, we say hello and welcome to week 4 of the Camping World SRX Series. Tonight, we are coming to you from Lucas Oil Raceway. You can see it. All the fans are out here on the hillside looking over this beautiful racetrack. We're about 7 miles from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the Indy 500. But this track is so special because of its history. One example of that, this is where Jeff Gordon raced to fame as a teenager. Tonight, several guys down ready to go race, and they cut their teeth at this very track. And it's time now to get things started. With the command to start engines, we turn now to 9-time IndyCar champion crew chief Jim McGee. Jim, take it away.
Some real fireworks here tonight. Drivers, start your engines.
Tonight, we're back to racing on asphalt, but what happened on the dirt, it certainly does not stay there. We saw some tempers flaring at Eldora, so as we now cross to the second half of the series, the drive to win is only heightened.
These guys are definitely being challenged. Reaction times are key. Kanaan and Francis Jr. side by side. Oh, got trouble. Contact. Kanaan is around.
Oh boy.
This is the 3rd race that he takes me out. He's going to get it.
Hey, Ernie, stay away from Kanaan. They said he's kind of pissed off. He's going to jump you.
We just got to take care of our right side from Paul Tracy, looks like.
Contact. Bobby Labonte, Paul Tracy. Labonte's around.
A lot of damage to the 18 car. Ray Evernham's just cringing as he's watching. Stop damaging my cars.
We run down the hardware store and get a bunch of crazy glue. What are they doing out there? Oh my God!
We love to see a fired up Ray Evernham. Now it's time to send it up to the booth. We turn to Alan Bestwick and 4-time IndyCar champ Dario Franchitti, our driver analyst tonight. Dario, welcome. Guys, are we going to see payback or what?
Yeah, that's the open question as we start this night. This is a whole different thing than racing on the dirt at Eldora sliding around. Are we going to see paybacks on the pavement here?
Yes, we are. I think we're going to see 2 shows tonight. For the show for the win, and then we're going to see Tony Kanaan, Ernie Francis Jr., and then Paul Tracy against the rest of the field, I think.
I think it's going to be an awfully action-packed night. Now, you have a long relationship with Paul, both on the track and off, but you've been the victim of Paul on the track a time or two?
Yeah, we as teammates, we're teammates for 5 years. We came together 5 times. 4 of which I think were his fault, 1 was half his fault. But we got on really, really well. There was 1. Actually, I don't think that was Paul's fault. That was another. That was Chicago. Yeah, so we almost lost our jobs at the Chicago one. Yeah, our main sponsor was there. So I have been the victim of the chrome horn, shall we say, from Paul Tracy. But I don't envy the other people out there tonight with Paul in a bad mood. And yeah, it's I think a heck of a show, Alan.
It won't slow him down for sure. Starting positions for the first heat race tonight determined by random draw. Scott Speed, the ringer, is on pole position. And the local all-star tonight is Bobby Santos III. More on him shortly. We've talked a lot about Paul. While they're on the pace laps, let's talk to Paul.
Let's have a word.
PT, it's your old teammate Dario up in the booth. How are you getting on? I hear you're upsetting a few people.
Dude, I just got wheeled in here in a cop car. The cop was Bobby Labonte's biggest fan. He said, "You ain't racing tonight." And I said, "I have to. My buddy Dario's here. He'll bail me out."
PT, I don't think that's the first time I've seen you coming out of a police car, but that's a different story. So what have you been doing upsetting all these people?
Well, you know me, Dario. You and I got into it a few times, but it's all for good fun. But I got to keep my nose clean tonight and try to get some points to move up in the points here. I got Tony right in front of me, so I'm going to try to follow him for a little bit.
So can we expect the chrome horn to be unsheathed tonight?
Well, if I got to, I got to, but I'm going to try to keep it clean if I can.
Have a good night, PT.
Paul will take the green flag from 7th position tonight. The car colors will come across the scoring ticker at the top of the screen. Same color schemes the drivers have been in for the prior races of the series. There's our format for tonight. 2 12-minute timed heats. Starting order for the second heat, inverted from the finish of the first. And of course, the average of your finish in the 2 determines where you'll take the green flag for the 76th lap. Salute to America on Independence Weekend main event. And of course, each of our celebrity crew chiefs assigned 3 of the 12 drivers. Here's our lineup. Jeff Hammond is here. Tony Uri Jr. is in our crew chief lineup tonight. We've got Todd Parrott and Tim Clausen. Look at the lineup that our local all-star celebrity crew chief drew tonight. Think he's got a good shot?
I really do. With Tony Stewart there, Bobby Santos III as well. I think Tim Clausen could win the race, and I'd like nothing better. He's a great pal of mine, and he's a good crew chief too.
Auto racing on 4th of July weekend, long a great tradition. And why not on a Saturday night of Independence Weekend have the superstar racing experience go in the racing capital of America, Indianapolis. Great crowd here. Weather is perfect. Scott Speed on the front row with Michael Waltrip. And here we go with heat race number 1 of the Camping World SRX Series from Indianapolis. Scott Speed leads lap 1. Dario, one of the unique characteristics of this racetrack says it has 12 degrees of banking. Most of it's right up by the outside wall.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see everybody migrating to the outside wall already. It also reduces tire wear, but as you can see, everybody migrating apart from Tony Stewart. He's looking to make some moves already. He was on the inside of Bobby Santos III.
You wouldn't see Tony try an alternate line because, you know, you got to pass them where they're not, right?
Absolutely right. You can see that his car getting loose off of turn 4, but yeah, Tony's got so much experience in this type of racing that somebody like Tony Kanaan has got exactly the opposite.
Tony will fall in behind Bobby Labonte, and that'll put Smoke back in 6th position, of course, trying for a 3rd straight win in the Camping World SRX Series after taking the victories on the dirt the last couple of weeks. Side by side, first couple of cars behind there. Paul Tracy being challenged by Ernie Francis Jr. Francis Jr. in the yellow car, and Tracy in lime green. That's all the way back for 8th and 9th.
And his nemesis, Tony Kanaan, in the pink car. They told me it was magenta. That is definitely a pink car. Tony Kanaan's in. And he is hounding Michael Waltrip for 2nd.
TK running in 3rd position. Let's check down on pit road. Brad Doherty with us once again tonight. Big fella, what you got?
Yeah, AB and Dario, I'm telling you, Paul Tracy over the last 3 weeks has had more hits than the Beatles. They had to bring him in here by police car this afternoon. I think they may have to take him out. He's wrecked Willie T. Ribbs. He's wrecked Michael Waltrip. And last week, he absolutely used up poor old Bobby Labonte. PT says he's going to take it easy. It's not in him. Watch PT to come to the front. He's coming up the road. Let's go, Matt.
Brad, those shenanigans last week also produced a lot of racing souvenirs. In fact, 60 of these 70 parts back in the SRX junkyard. came from Eldora, the prominent color lime green belonging to Paul Tracy. But Paul also appreciates the passion of the hidden heroes, the mechanics. He walked around and gave each crew member a sizable gift card, thanking them for all their hard work and the fun that he's provided everybody here at SRX. Dinner on PT. Did he ever do that for you, Dario?
He did buy me dinner on occasion after we wrecked me, and he did apologize profusely, but that's PT. He's a big cuddly teddy bear, he's wrecking you.
He's gonna stand on the gas.
Oh, every time.
Without exception.
He only knows one speed, Alan. That's absolutely right.
A couple IndyCar guys there, Marco Andretti and Helio Castroneves trying to mix it up. We saw Ernie Francis Jr. pass Paul Tracy and pick up the 8th position. There's Francis in the yellow car. Another doubleheader weekend for the young 23-year-old. He's racing in Trans Am at Road America tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. He's a 5-hour drive away from that. On board with Tony Kanaan.
And if you notice, they make the numbers, the RPM numbers, really big so that these old guys can read it exactly what's going on. But you saw the flash in red there as Kanaan hit the rev limiter. Tony catching some oversteer. Look, it's back to the right. When you turn to the left and your hands are going back to the right, means the car's a little bit loose. So Tony will be trying to fix that in the gap between the first heat and the second heat, and also talk to his crew chief and see if he can change his driving style a bit too.
Watch the colors on that. So if he just touched the rev limiter there. That kind of became a thing the drivers were watching for when they were watching each other practice today. Who can kind of touch that rev limiter at the end of the straightaway? So here is 5th place, Bobby Labonte in the teal car and Tony Stewart in the orange car. On board with Bobby and his augmented reality heads-up display.
See exactly what he's doing with the pedals, the RPM, 7,200. That's a lot for a V8 engine. But look, Bobby's got that style, that distinctive style, head forward, putting some wheel into it mid-corner and catching the oversteer as he gets back to throttle as well. Him and Tony, you can expect them to race with a good bit of respect between each other though.
Former teammates in NASCAR Cup competition. Bobby, a former winner here in what was then the NASCAR Busch Series back in 1991, the year he won the championship in that series. And Tony Stewart, of course, winners here in 3 different open wheel series.
Is there anywhere Tony Stewart has not won a race? He's got such a wide skill set. And this series, the SRX series, is tailor-made for Tony Stewart. I think he proved that again last week.
Yeah, sure did. The variety of tracks, the variety of styles of driving. He loves it.
To me, this series is all about adapting. You've got to adapt to the different styles of the tracks and the cars, and Tony's very, very good at that. Maybe one of the best I've ever seen. He's such an old school guy. He jumps in any type of car and goes fast, and he's still trying to put the pressure on Bobby Labonte, but Bobby's got that preferred high line, and he's not going to give it up easily.
No. Whoop. Little slip there, you heard?
Yeah, you heard the RPM spike as the car got a little bit sideways. This is where Tony's got to be patient.
Tony's from Columbus, Indiana. Earlier this week, they named the racetrack at the local fairgrounds in Columbus after him as the caution flag comes out for the SRX green flag lap limit. We'll bunch him up and let him go again in just a minute. Scott Speed started on pole. He's led all the laps so far. We're halfway through heat number 1 tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis.
Camping World is here to fuel your outdoor adventures. From the hottest outdoor gear and equipment to just released brand new RVs, we have everything you need to kick off your outdoor adventure at our over 175 locations nationwide. Right now, you can drive away in a new RV for as little as $5 a day and save up to 40% off RV and outdoor gear. Head into your local Camping World or visit us online at campingworld.com today.
Your mission: stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious infections and blood clots, sometimes fatal, have occurred, as have certain cancers, including lymphoma, and tears in the stomach or intestines, and changes in lab results. Your doctor should monitor your blood work. Tell your doctor about any infections, and if you are or may become pregnant while taking Rinvoq.
Take on RA. Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
Some of us were born for this. To protect people. To help them save. With a home and auto bundle from Progressive. I was born for this. And now, it's prime time.
Cut. Jamie, what are you doing? You're not even in this one.
I thought it was Thursday. Sorry.
It is.
I thought it was last Thursday.
What a beautiful night in Indianapolis as we're doubled up for a restart in heat race number 1 tonight. Our Camping World SRX series racing on this very famous 0.6 of a mile racetrack, and we're getting ready to go with 4 minutes to go in heat number 1. Scott Speed started on pole. He's led all the laps so far. They're doubled up now though, and Michael Waltrip is again to his outside.
Yeah, Michael can get the jump on the start here. It's been proven difficult to pass, but the outside looks like the favoured line at this point. I'd be watching for Bobby Santos in 3rd and 4th position as well.
He's in the red, white, and blue car. Keep an eye on our local all-star, and I'll tell you more about Bobby in a little bit. Speed and Waltrip, then Kanaan and Santos, Labonte and Stewart as they come for the restart. Kanaan trying to clear Waltrip. Kanaan in the pink car, Waltrip in the light blue. TK to 2nd place.
So much for the outside being the preferred line. Tony Kanaan up to 2nd.
See Michael Waltrip jump out of the gas there and got a good shot on the back bumper from Santos, who I don't think expected Michael to need to check up that much. Monty and Stewart again, this time for 4th and 5th position.
Tony Stewart, the orange car, has got the he's got the preferred outside line.
And a little back in the pack, Elio Castroneves and Marco Andretti are racing side by side. This on Elio's radio.
Marco doesn't pass. I mean, I wanted him to go, but he's taking too long.
Oh, you can fix that by passing him himself.
That's everything I was looking for to gauge. Water, full, all that. You have 192 water, oil pressure 55, 57, but oil temperature 208. Car is braking. It's actually good balance. I have understeer and oversteer at the same time, but it seems to be good balance. I just need him to go.
Elio talking to his all-star crew chief Jeff Hammond, and you saw the telemetry on his heart rate from the folks at Whoop. As Castroneves works Paul Tracy, this would be for 9th place.
And Elliot was nice and calm. He was having to read numbers back to the crew chief in IndyCar. That's all done. They can read it back in the pits. They can tell exactly what you're doing. They can tell every mistake you make. But Elliot's learning some new skills at the age of, what is he, mid-40s?
Yeah.
46 years old now. Well, we're getting old.
You like that the crew chief knows when you've made a mistake?
No,
like I didn't think so. So this is when Elio was trying to pass Marco Andretti a bit ago.
Yeah, Marco's kind of crowding him down, but he's not really going anywhere. To Elio's point, he sort of got a run, and then Marco blocked that lane, so he's going to now try to go around the outside. And they're both with Paul Tracy ahead, and I was thinking at that point they had, but they've both got past PT now. PT run back. This is not what we expected.
No, for sure not.
You can see the cars now sliding off of turn 4 already, so the tires are getting overheated. They're starting to slide around. This is where somebody with experience, like a Tony Stewart, Bobby Santos III, their experience is really going to come into play. But Scott Speed has just disappeared.
There's the show. Tony Stewart looking down low to pick up 2 positions in a lap. He tries to slide in front of Santos and gives the folks in the grandstand a rise.
That'll be a slight job from Tony. That's a very impressive to make that kind of move, that kind of progress. It's quite something. And Michael Waltrip's going to look in his mirror now and think,
it's him
again.
Him?
He might look in his mirror. If he doesn't, he's going to get a tap on the back bumper any time.
Well, he's got to catch him first. We're down to almost the last lap of this opening heat. Leader will come by next time and get the white flag for Scott Speed. Tell you, Scott Speed, who's driven just about everything you can drive, from Formula One to where he makes his living now in Nitro Rallycross, He got out of the car after his practice laps this morning. First time racing here in a car like this. He had the biggest smile on his face. He said, I wish I had done this before I went to the dirt racing. He said, I learned so much just in this short practice today.
He's done a heck of a job. I mean, look at that lead that he's got. And as you say, he really has driven everything. And he's learned from everything he's driven too as he comes through the middle of turn 3, coming off at 4 to take the checkered flag. Fantastic job by Scott Speed.
So heat win for Scott Speed. First side-by-side's going to be pretty deep in the pack as Helio Castroneves and Bill Elliott race for a spot down to the stripe. But it's Scott Speed, the winner of heat number 1, will flip the field in green flag heat number 2 in a few.
Camping World SRX Series on CBS is sponsored by Camping World, America's #1 RV dealer. And by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
Yes, Helio Castroneves takes his trophies very, very seriously. We're going to have much more on that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at your Heat 1 results. Yes, Scott Speed shocking a lot of people, finishing that heat in first place, followed by Tony Kanaan, Michael Waltrip there, following up the third. We see Marco Andretti all the way back down at 8th, but Paul Tracy there, everybody looking to see where he's going to end up 11th right now in this first heat, getting ready to get into the second heat shortly. But first, we talked about Helio Castroneves and those trophies. We were all laughing last week when we found out that he wears his Indy 500 ring while he's driving that race car. And for context, it's the size of a Super Bowl ring. Those gloves are really small, so it's hard to think how he fits it underneath there. But he takes his trophies, as I said, very seriously. And if you wonder where his hundreds of trophies are, he gave us a sneak peek and took us behind the curtain.
Hey, welcome to my trophy room. That's right. A lot of memories here, great memories. For example, this wall is about pole position. I love it because qualifying for me, it's what gets me going. This actually was really cool what Honda did to me. They kind of like cut a little bit of the head of the engine and gave me as my first win. It was very nice. And this wall here, we have all the big ones. Pole position from Indianapolis. We have the Rolex 24-hour Daytona this year. I want to wear it, but I don't know. It feels like wrong, you know, to wear the trophy. I know I got the ring, but now we're going to the big one here. Yes, Dancing with the Stars, the Mirrorball Trophy. I'm still a big fan of that show, by the way. And the Mecca, the Omega, the Super Bowl, you know, of racing Indianapolis 500. Now, with all these trophies, which is really cool, there are only one that I wasn't able to fit through that door, so come and check it out. Right, guys, some people mouth fish. I mouth my favorite race car. Yes, this is the replica of the Indy 500 that I won in 2001. The pace car, one of the three, it's right over there, the Camaro. Awesome.
Not too shabby. Hey, this is like, look, when you win an Oscar, people sleep with them. That's what Helio does with his Indy 500 rings. Why not, right? Of course, that's going to give you again Dario Franchitti, guys.
All right, Lindsay, getting ready to start heat race number 2. Invert the finish of heat race number 1. So the winner, Scott Speed, starts last here. Let's check in with him, Dario.
Hey, Scott, it's Dario up in the booth. Congratulations. That was a dominant display in the first race.
Thanks, buddy.
How much progress can you make here, and how much fun are you having?
We're having lots of fun. As far as progress, I don't know. Mikey seemed to hold up Kanaan for quite a bit in that last race, so I'm not sure how hard passing is going to be, but give it a shot.
Attaboy. Put on a show for us.
You bet he will. So 38-year-old Scott Speed, originally from California, who has been getting some tips from Cody Swanson, our local all-star from a week ago, who's so good at this racetrack as well in open-wheel competition. Scott will try and come from the back. And again, your average finish of the 2 heat races is where you'll start the main event. Side note for you, Tony Kanaan had the fastest lap in heat number 1. And a heat winner has gone on to win the main in all 3 weeks. And the winner of heat number 1 won the main the last 2. Of course, that was Tony Stewart, both times on the dirt.
passing looks a little bit more difficult at this point, but I think this mixed up field now, we're going to see a bit of action.
So you've got Willie T. Ribbs on pole position with Paul Tracy to his outside, Bill Elliott inside of row number 2. Bill wearing a brace on his right hand after getting nicked up in that big late race crash a week ago. More on that momentarily, but Bill lined up and ready. And we'll keep an eye on Ernie Francis Jr. in the yellow car. He was the one that made the most progress in heat race number 1 forward. See if he can make some more forward progress in heat race number 2. Pace car's off, and here we go. 12 minutes on the clock, green flag. I think Willie had a little trouble getting going.
Well, I think Paul Tracy started in turn 3 as opposed to coming out of turn 4. He must have learned that one from Helio Castroneves, the man now in second. Helio's famous for his early start, shall we say. It's Ernie Francis on the inside trying to make more places. He's really aggressive and doing a great job coming through the field.
Trying to find some running room where room isn't. All the way down on the flat inside that yellow line in the yellow car. Francis, the 23-year-old from South Florida, who got his first win in an open wheel car last Sunday. Remember we saw him on the dirt last Saturday night? He drove over to Mid-Ohio, got in what's called a Formula Americas car, a ladder car you drive to learn how to run those things. Single-seater open wheel car, and he won the race on Sunday.
And you see in the windshield, there's a battle for the lead. Helio Castroneves, Paul Tracy going at it like it's the 2002 Indy 500 all over again. And those boys still dispute who won that trophy that day. PT crossed the finish line first. But Helio's got the trophy in his I Love Me room that we just saw.
Yes, he does. Trying a crossover here. Side by side for the lead. Castroneves, look out, hanging on. What a save.
Phenomenal save. He got loose. He locked the back end up, slid it. Small contact with Paul Tracy, but doesn't look like there's massive damage. And here comes Ernie Francis up. Right up on the back bumper of Helio Castroneves.
He's not hesitating. He's going to try and mount another charge here. Castroneves is red car on Paul Tracy in the lime green machine.
Now watch the back end of the car. You can see the flames as he lifts off, and he's on the brakes now. Just watch the front wheels. He starts to have to correct already the slide. Phenomenal car control from Helio Castroneves. Back onto the throttle, trying to keep it out from the hitting Paul Tracy.
And back to live action now. Castroneves on the outside as Tracy protects the bottom. And new leader, Helio Castroneves.
Yeah, he looks a little bit quicker right now, Alan, and he's able to run that momentum around the outside. And Paul Tracy's going to be trying to hold up Ernie Francis Jr., but not for long.
Yeah.
Great run out of turn 2 from Ernie Francis Jr.
Francis Jr. through to second. Behind them, a gap as Marco Andretti just got through Willie T. Ribbs, and Tony Stewart followed him. So good racing here for 4th, 5th, 6th on back. Been really impressed with Marco Andretti. I talked to him this morning when he came into the racetrack. Said, "You having fun?" He said, "So much fun." And he said, what this year is all about for him is trying new things. He had never been to this racetrack before. All the years he's been in Indianapolis, he'd never been here before. He's here for the first time tonight.
You know, Marco Andretti, think of the pressure. 3rd-generation driver. Your father's Michael Andretti. Your grandfather's Mario Andretti. He's under pressure from the first time he drove a racing car. And with what he's done this year, that pressure's gone. And he just looks much more relaxed. And you can see he's allowing, he's trying the different things, as you said. And that's allowing him just to have fun, which is ultimately what it's all about, right?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Why we all started in this sport.
Pressure off, go race. He said it's back to the purity of racing for me.
Yeah, and you can absolutely tell that. Marco's one of those guys. You put him on a strange track in a car he's never been in before, on a slick surface, he'll go faster than any other driver. It's when he starts really overthinking it sometimes, I would say, is the enigma that is Marco, and he hasn't enjoyed the success in IndyCar that his talent, I think, should have allowed.
Finished 4th on the dirt in Eldora last week with a badly beaten up car at the end. Finished 1 spot off the podium when he ran an IMSA sports car race on Sunday with Oliver Askew and his cousin Jared Andretti up at Watkins Glen, New York. He said, "I wanted 2 podiums, I got 2 fourths."
That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. That in-car, he was breathing hard already. I don't think these cars are easy to manhandle around here.
All right, this is the visor cam on Tony Kanaan's helmet.
Tony back in 10th place. Watch his hands as he gets back to the throttle. He's getting held up by Willie T. Ribbs just a little bit, but he's possibly on the wrong line as he catches the oversteer. You can hear the RPMs build. He's going to try and find a way past before the cars in front make too much of a break. So Tony needs to be patient.
And looking back from the Willie T. Ribbs machine.
Watch Willie's hands as well. He's working hard at the wheel. He's trying to keep Tony behind him. Willie's doing a great job here. This is probably his most competitive showing that I've seen. Tony just can't get the late braking done to do the slide job. Tony's alongside again, but watch the momentum on the outside. Willie can get his car straighter, quicker, and accelerate off the corner, and that's just going to get Tony a little bit more upset. If it was Ernie Francis Jr., I think he might have already put the bumper to him, but Willie's he's probably twice the size of Tony, so he's treating him with a lot of respect, which is, I would say, a wise thing.
Yes. Yeah. Especially since Willie trains by boxing.
Precisely right. Which didn't seem to bother Paul Tracy any. There's a lot of sliding going on, and Tony makes the pass finally. Let's see how quick he can close the gap to the car in front. And the yellow is out. He'll close it pretty quickly.
Yes, he will. Caution flag on the leader, Helio Castroneves. The SRX green flag lap limit kicks in, and so we'll slow him down, get a chance to take a break, and double him up for a restart. Helio Castroneves, are we surprised by anything that he does this year at 46 years old?
Not at all. He was phenomenal in Indianapolis, and I'd say that from a member of the team that finished second.
There you go. Castroneves out in front of heat race number 2.
Our passion for protecting vehicles started in 1934. And we've been pushing the limits of performance ever since. We innovate with the times and have the right filters to fit your needs. It's a trust we don't take lightly. Yeah, we've been around the block, but our journey is just beginning. Fran for the road ahead.
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm going to get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
This Wednesday, Big Brother is back with all new house guests playing the game you love. Julie Chen Mumbes hosts the season premiere of Big Brother, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central, here on CBS. This Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis has been around since 1961. There have been some famous folks who have raced here over the years. Jeff Gordon, of course, came to national prominence here. Tony Stewart winning open wheel races. AJ Foyt, all the way back to the beginning of the racetrack in 1961. Guys like Jason Leffler made their way from open wheel competition here south to NASCAR. You got Ryan Newman, Casey Kane. I could go on and on and on. And of course, AJ, he won in anything, anywhere, including here.
And including the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That's often forgotten with Dan Gurney. Special driver, AJ Foyt. Goes without saying. What a guy.
The local drivers here in open wheel competition race for the AJ Foyt Championship trophy. Kind of looks a little like the Stanley Cup. Great trophy. More on that when we talk about Bobby Santos here in our main event. Doubled up for the restart. Helio Castroneves choosing the outside lane. Ernie Francis to his inside. Restart technique.
Well, Elio's well known for jumping the restarts. The Indy normally goes before turn 3, but he's actually behaving himself tonight so far. This is very well behaved by Elio, and he goes. What a great jump.
Green flag, and here we go with 2.5 minutes to go in heat race number 2. Watch Tony Stewart in the orange car to the outside of Francis for second.
And this is that point when Elio looks in the mirror. No spotters, remember. Looks in the mirror, sees Tony Stewart's car and thinks, oh, not him again. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Francis hanging tough, though, on the inside of Stewart.
Yeah, but if he starts crowding Tony Stewart, he's picked the wrong person to do it. Tony will just will use him up in a hurry.
Tony took the green flag in this heat race in 9th position. He's racing for second here.
Tracy running 4th just behind us. He looked like he was getting very oversteered. Oh, and his nemesis, Bobby Labonte, to the outside and just drove round Paul. This is Paul on best behaviour tonight.
It's early.
Yeah, exactly. We've still got 76 lap final.
That's right. Stewart to second place. As you look ahead from the Paul Tracy machine at Ernie Francis Jr. in yellow, trying to defend now from Bobby Labonte in teal. Bobby's got it rolling.
Bobby on the outside, yeah, that outside line, he's really doing well. And I'm surprised, I have to say, that Tony Stewart hasn't caught Elio more. Elio Castro-Neves leading the race. Phenomenal job so far. Well, Bobby's got the visor open now. He's obviously feeling the heat a little bit. Maybe the sun going down as well. He's got that dark visor on. He's doing a great job. Shouldn't be surprised.
No, we should.
NASCAR champion. I mean, he's one of the greats.
NASCAR Hall of Famer, IROC champion, a former winner on this track in NASCAR competition, and he just cleared Ernie Francis for 3rd position, and he's going right after Tony Stewart for 2nd.
Yeah, and the car's putting the power down so well. The line he's running through turn 4, he's able to get back to the throttle and really keep that momentum up. And look at him again off at 2.
Inside of a minute to go in our second time heat.
You told me it was going to go quick.
I did,
You
right?
didn't lie.
Just your pace. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart racing here. They were teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing for quite some time. Bobby told me what Tony taught him are certain things Bobby used to kind of obsess about and worry about. Not to. Open his mind to other ways to think about how a race car should behave.
You're a smart teammate. You always learn from your teammates. And Bobby Labonte going to the outside, trying to get the crossover on Tony Stewart. Tony can't get back to the throttle.
Here's for 2nd place.
Look at the momentum around the outside he's able to carry. As you said earlier, Alan, the banking's all on the outside.
So Bobby to position number 2, and Elio Castro-Neves well ahead of him by 1.7 seconds. We'll come off turn 4 and see the white flag. Now, 2 weeks in a row, Elio's been close to a heat race win, and it's gotten away from him.
Well, if it gets away from him tonight, it's going to be his own fault because nobody's on the same even straightaway. Phenomenal job from Elio. Really, really impressive. Behind all the hair gel and the teeth and the smile, Elio Castro-Neves, one of the most intense competitors you will ever meet, whether it's driving a racing car, even dancing, whatever. He wants to win and is about to do it.
Has done a great job of figuring out these SRX machines. Checkered flag and a heat race win for Elio Castro-Neves, with Labonte 2nd, Stewart 3rd, Francis 4th, and Marco Andretti coming home in 5th position. Talked about Scott's speed. What kind of progress could he make? He started 12th, he moved up to 7th and picked up 5 spots in that heat race. So 2 heats in the books. The winners, Scott Speed in the first and Elio Castro-Neves.
Came to the States without speaking a single word of English at the end of '95. The first 2 years, I lived in a studio in Columbus, Ohio, and all I did was watch CMT at the time, the country TV station, and with subtitles, and actually listen to Garth Brooks songs. That was my beginning of speaking English, and that's how I became a huge Garth Brooks fan. Everybody says, well, you love the music. I said, no, I learned English with him. I guess I got friends in low places.
I wonder if Garth Brooks has any idea the influence he had on Tony Kanaan. That'd be cool if they could meet at some point. More on Tony Kanaan later. Right now, let's take a look at your Heat 2 results again. Look at Bobby Labonte inching up in the 2nd spot there. But here you have that finishing order. Elio Castro-Neves, again in the first spot. He is standing by with Matt Yoakum. Yoakum?
We'll talk about an exciting few weeks. A couple heat wins almost for, yes, it is Helio Castroneves. Finally, can you describe the relief but the excitement to finally win a heat?
Oh man, that was awesome. You know, I got sideways right behind.
Great save.
That was great save. It wasn't me, it was a guy upstairs, but it was awesome. You know, the car was a little bit neutral, but in the end, it was actually doing pretty good. Man, I was just hitting the line. It was like, all right, I think I got this. I tried not to look to the mirror because I saw smoke back behind. I was like, all right, he might be playing with me. But suddenly, I pull it away, and it was awesome. So great job, everyone. Let's go for the big one.
Congratulations. Now he's going for that big prize, his first feature win, Brad.
Matt, I'm here with Scott Speed, and Scott, in that first heat, man, they were calling you the bus driver because you were taking these boys to school. Tell us about your race car.
Oh, man, the race car is awesome. You know, when you get a guy like Ray to design these cars, you know they're going to be right. I mean, they can go on the dirt, it's just pretty impressive. Car handles really nice, like it's super drivable. Obviously been out of a stock car in a long time, but yeah, they're super fun to drive. This has always been a track I've really wanted to come to, so I'm really glad I get the chance to race. It is super fun out there.
Hey, Lindsay, Scott Speed, the man to watch as we go racing.
That's so much fun, and it's great that he's having a good time at this track. This track, as you guys heard Alan Bestwick say, has really been a launching pad for some of the biggest names in motorsports. It was built in 1960 on 267 acres of land. In fact, the original tower still stands right outside Turn 4 at this racetrack. Legends have been coming here for years. Here's a closer look at the track, brought to us by Progressive Insurance.
This is Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis, where this year we're celebrating our 60th year of racing. The heritage that it has and the history, the names that have raced out here, dating back to 1961 when A.J. Foyt won the first oval race. It actually used to be a dirt track back in the day, so it's really the history that's been built here.
Guys like Mario Andretti, Jeff Gordon started his career here, Ryan Newman started here, Tony Stewart's raced here. Some of the biggest names in all of motorsports, they've all funneled through here at some point in their time.
It started out as Indianapolis Raceway Park and was known by that name for more than 40 years.
And most notably now it's Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. We actually saw a shirt that says, I still call it IRP. Nice.
What's interesting is the tight groove that drivers must follow to get around here.
The outside walls love to get rubbed up. There's some pretty good dings in there that show how hard guys are racing around here. Lucas Oil Raceway sometimes gets lost in the shadows of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We bring fans from all over the place. As far as California, as close as, down the street 10 minutes, and anywhere in between.
When we have a full house, it's tough to beat. It's a lot of grassroots racing fans that are very passionate about the sport.
This is the racing capital of the world. What other place would you want to be and win a race than here in Indianapolis?
So much history here. That's also a true statement for the guy that is standing by now with our Matt Yoakum. Yoakum, I would imagine the man you're standing with is very happy.
And 2 decades ago, this guy, Bobby Labonte, won here when it was IRP in the old Busch Grand National Series. Fun then, fun tonight. So who are you worried most about? You got the kid coming up, Ernie Francis Jr., your old teammate.
Yeah.
Smoke, who looks much thinner, by the way, in our video thing, filling up your mirror.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, man, I didn't run that good the first part, and then, kind of, moved around a little bit. My car kind of came in a little bit better, so kind of reminds me of, days have passed and Tony and I are racing together there, and just, heck, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard because we all kind of run pretty good, and somebody's going to be a little bit better this time, and it's hard to, make that move sometimes. So I'll probably worry more about Tony because he's the favorite, but Ernie is obviously really, really fast. And then, there's a handful of guys back there, and Helio winning this and celebrating with the crowd. I'm surprised he didn't get out and jump on the fence for winning the heat race, but no, I mean, it's going to be hard to maintain yourself in a good composure because some guys might come that are saving their tires. It's hard to tell.
Certainly got to be mistake-free, Brad.
Thank you, Matt. Marco, you must feel 7 feet tall with the way you performed in those 2 heats. Actually, if you will show, Marco is standing on the wall here. He is 7 feet tall. How was your race car? How much fun is that? You've never been inside this facility. Give us a synopsis of the evening for you.
Well, first of all, I was hoping you wouldn't zoom out there. That's kind of embarrassing. But second of all, yeah, I haven't been to any track that we're going to this year in this series, and I think that was a big reason why I wanted to go try new stuff and try new cars and tracks, and so we're doing it. Yeah, I mean, I've never been here in Indy just because I don't like watching racing. I like racing, so yeah, I mean, so far so good. It's a little bit hard to pass. You have to do some slide jobs.
You're doing a great job, man. Thanks for the entertainment, Lindsay. We love it.
Yeah. Brad, he said he doesn't like watching it. He brought friends, though. He said he's got 8 friends from home who are here watching him tonight, so they're pumped to see Marco. Tony Kanaan, you see his car right here behind me. 8 years ago, down the road at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the crowd went wild when he won the Indy 500. It was a lifelong dream of his. He brought so much commitment to something he didn't know he would ever accomplish. He brought that same commitment here to SRX. The way he's training is specifically designed to keep up with the younger guys.
Welcome to the pain cave. Show off for TV today. Yeah, man. Well, this is one of my favorite exercises, and this is perfect for especially driving in the ovals. So basically, this helps a lot, especially when he's pulling on my neck like that, to get the neck strong. By simulating this, you're just trying to get as strong as you can so you can last as long as you want to last. So one of the things that I did this year to train for SRX, which is an enclosed cockpit car, is getting in the sauna. 140 degrees, I'll sit here for at least 35 to 40 minutes. We have a little drill on the iPad for your memory and your reflexes, so it helps passing time. So I'm gonna go get hot. You need to find an edge to the young kids that have plenty of other talents that you growing up without it. I need to adapt. I want to race 10 more years, 15 more years.
But in his 12th attempt at Indianapolis, where he has led 9 different races, after years of frustration, the satisfaction of knowing his name will go on the Borg Warner Trophy.
I love you, brother. Great job. You're now a winner of the Indianapolis 500, my friend.
It took me 12 years, and I've never actually stopped believing it, but it was definitely taking a toll every year. I mean, you name it, right? I had finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I had led, if you put all the 500s together, more than 200 laps, which is the race. I had led the entire race in numbers, but apparently hadn't led the right lap. And I guess the universe was waiting for this day, and they had the script. That's the race that I promised that I was gonna win when I crossed our finish line. I'm pointing it up. I'm like, I told you, I told you, I told you. That's exactly what I was saying.
He has waited so long to taste the milk at Indianapolis.
I mean, it changed my life.
It certainly did. Now for more driver reaction as we get ready for the feature, we send it again to Matt Yoakum.
Always a guy to watch, Ernie Francis Jr. You told me earlier lessons learned on the dirt at Eldora as far as pace. Did you go with that game plan here tonight?
Yeah, I was just trying to just run a steady pace out there, trying not to burn up the equipment too much. Car felt pretty decent in the start, picked up some push towards the end of it. That was pretty much all I had on that last restart, so I'm going to make a few adjustments, see if we can get a better car for us in the feature, and try and get a better finish. But really happy with it. Solid points for the championship, and that's what we're after out here.
Excitement last week in the feature. Keep an eye on the yellow banana, Lindsay.
Thank you very much, Yoakum. You know, if you want a good laugh or you want a good story in the garage, just find Willie T. Ribs. He's having so much fun, but he's also a guy that made history in this sport. Here, he shows us the unique bond with his son and why this sport means so much to him.
Good shot. These are not baby targets here, son. To make you happy or make you sad. Right in the center. You know, my hobby was shooting sports. I liked shooting clay. I did a little competition. And Theo would go out and push the buttons for me when he was a little kid. And I could see he really liked it. Good shot.
I love being with my dad, and me and him have a super tight relationship.
So obviously as I get older and he gets older, you know, that time is super valuable.
It sort of developed a bond because we started shooting together, and then he took it to the next level. He's blazing his own trail. He's the top African-American shooter in the world. His focus was the same focus I had driving a race car. You know, racing is difficult, right? Being successful is difficult no matter who you are. But in my case, my color made it more difficult, right? It's already hard, but I was a pioneer in the sport. That's not why I was racing. I was racing to win. It was Willie T. Ribbs as a race driver. In 1991, I just didn't make racing history in IndyCar. I made sports history by qualifying for the Indy 500.
And the checkered flag is out for Willie T. Ribbs.
And Indy 500 is a global event. It was sports history. I didn't feel tearful. I just felt very happy, and I felt overwhelmed that everyone was giving me that support. It's overwhelming. It was, without question, at 4 to 5 minutes was the greatest 4 to 5 minutes in my entire life. It gave a path. It showed that other drivers of color, that there's a path there. They could see that it could be done. That's very satisfying.
And Willie has shared his love of racing with his son since day one. He told me when his son was just 2, he snuck him into the Indy 500 garage by putting him in the cockpit of his car with a blanket over top of it. Brad Doherty, you ever seen anything like that?
No, that's outstanding. Willie T's one of my heroes. And speaking of heroes, I'm here with the smartest crew chief in the history of racing. Are we at an SRX race? There's no torn up race cars. Nobody's mad at one another. Ray, what's going on?
I don't know. We need to run up and down the road, get them mad at one another again. We got a pile of fiberglass out there. We got more, but I think that they're playing a little bit cool. This place is difficult, and they knew based on our testing last night that about 9 o'clock when they get ready to run, it's going to change. So judging by where some of the guys were at, and there's some donuts on the cars, I think we haven't seen the beginning of the action yet.
It should be good, Matt.
And that's why it's feature time. So last week, Michael Waltrip, do you remember what our topics were?
It was all about colors, all kinds of colors running into me.
What about tonight? Anybody, any color upset you yet?
Well, we've 3 wide at IRP. That's crazy. It's really been competitive racing. I'm telling you, man, I got an issue with my feet. I talk about it, but these other drivers must have tiny feet.
You got issues with your feet?
My 14s don't fit in the pedal box too well, and I get them all mixed up, and I don't need any distractions. And my radio was on scan. I'm listening to Todd Parrott sound like he's calling the Daytona 500. And by the way, I got enough people in my head without having more of them on my radio in it.
All right, Lindsay.
I don't know how to follow that, Yoakum, but I'll try. It's time to get out of quarantine and back in the dating game. Climb on board for a new season of Love Island in Hawaii, where Islanders will do whatever it takes to hold on to their dream date. The new season of Love Island starts Wednesday. That's at 9:30, 8:30 Central on CBS, or stream for free anytime. So in Indianapolis, we know they're wild about their racing. They're also wild about their football. Check this out. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. You might want to pay attention if you play fantasy football. He got a special wheels up ride to the race this weekend. He talked to some drivers. There he is with Willie T, about to enter his sophomore season in the NFL. He loved checking out the cars, standing with Elio there, meeting a lot of drivers. Oh, Paul Tracy, you cannot top this. In handcuffs. Now he's there out on the track, trying to make a name for himself out here in SRX. Much more to come after this break. Begins at 8 Eastern. That's next Saturday on CBS. Alan Bestwick, let's check in with you and Dario up there. What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, well, first of all, are you having fun?
Oh, it's great.
I told you it was going to be fun. So Ray Evernham just said he thinks the action's going to pick up quite a bit in this main event. Your thoughts?
I think, first of all, he's relieved. They haven't done more damage in the heats,
Yeah.
but I agree with, 76 laps. The tires are going to get warmer, the car's going to slide around more, and I think the tempers are going to get a bit warmer as well.
And here's the other thing. The 3 best drivers in cars where practice was concerned have earned the first 3 starting positions in this one by the average finish of their results in the 2 heat races. So Tony Stewart, Scott Speed, and Bobby Labonte starting 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, with Helio Castroneves, the 4-time Indy 500 winner, starting 4th. Pretty phenomenal. So the format for the night where the feature race is concerned, as you look at the rest of the starting grid, is 76 laps. It's Independence Weekend in America, 1776. There's a short track outside of Philadelphia that always ran a race called the Freedom 76. Ray, being from New Jersey, very familiar with that race. And he had that inspiration on his way out here. Yeah, let's run 76 laps. So that's what we're going to do.
I think this is going to be quite an interesting 76 laps coming up.
I do. Caution laps will count until the last 6. The last 6 laps have to be green flag laps. And our progressive race analysis shows you our heat winners tonight. Tony Stewart, what a shock, gained the most positions of any driver on the night so far. And it's the first race with no track incidents in those first 2 heats.
Well, I've gone and said it now.
I know, but that's maybe why we said it.
Tony's going to be hard to beat. He always is.
Yeah, for sure. So this racetrack that measures just over 0.6 of a mile around, very flat except for 12 degrees of banking right up by the outside wall. We saw the drivers. You can go down low to try and pass. It's harder on the car.
Yeah, you've got to commit. You've got to commit on the corner entry to a slide job. They carry maximum speed. We saw Helio trying to do it earlier when he was trying to pass, and he really got trying to pass Paul Tracy. In fact, he got oversteer, got the back of the car started to slide, and he almost took them both out. So not an easy thing to do.
And as far as the fun factor on the night, these drivers, they're going to work hard here. They're going fast at this racetrack. They are going to work hard behind the wheel for every position they get.
Yeah, they don't care about championship points. This is all about tonight, right now.
So here we go. Pace car, that 34 Ford replica that Big Machine Records has provided. Johnny Benson behind the wheel, hits the pit lane, doubled up. 6 rows of 2. With Tony Stewart in command of the start in the orange car on the outside. The main event, week 4 of the SRX series, is green.
Fabulous start for Tony Stewart right there outside.
Great roll through the corner though by Scott Speed. He's underneath Stewart.
An incredible job by Scott Speed. Take the lead on the inside there. Now he's got to sort of look after his tires. But Tony Stewart coming right back to the inside. I think we're going to have a battle all night between these two.
He's got to look after his back bumper is what he's got to look after for the moment. Side by side for 4th and 5th place. Bobby Labonte in the teal car on the outside. You ride with him as Ernie Francis Jr. challenges and squeezes in line in front of him.
Can he keep momentum up? Momentum up, down low on the inside there. It's looking more difficult as Bobby Labonte goes back to the outside but can't get back to the throttle. That's going to become increasingly difficult to make those passes on the inside as the tires start to wear. For the first 5, really up close and personal at the moment.
And that's one of the things that will come into play for these drivers over a lengthy race tonight is tire management. You got to have something left to race with. Lap 70 through 76.
Tire management, brake management, temper management.
Yep.
All going to be looked after. And the balance of the car is going to change as well. The front slides, the rear slides, how it handles front to rear will change as the night goes on.
Looking ahead at Ernie Francis Jr., I mentioned he got a win in an open wheel car last Sunday at Mid-Ohio. As you drop back now, here's Marco Andretti and Tony Kanaan, black and pink machines, racing for 7th and 8th. We ride with TK and the visor cam.
Yeah, these 2 old friends, old teammates of mine as well. They're playing nice so far, but Tony's going to want to get past Marco. Marco's using all the road on the exit of the corner. Tony's going to get past and head up the road.
Can I just clarify there, by old friends, you meant like they've been friends for a long time?
No, especially Kanaan.
He is working hard to see if he can find some running room around Marco right now.
I think we should have a talk to Tony. Should we see how good his concentration is?
Yeah, why not?
Tony, is Dario doing a good job, man? Are you going to get past Marco here or what?
I'm trying. This is so much fun. Nice to have you there, mate. I'm going to try to do it just for you.
Just like Indianapolis again. Keep your foot down. The foot on the pedal on the right, okay?
It's the right one. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Anytime.
You've known each other for a long time, been teammates, worked at the same team. Watching Ernie Francis Jr. work Helio Castroneves and Tony Stewart here for second and third spot all at once.
And Helio's coming back into that battle for second place. And Tony and I worked together at Indianapolis this year with the Chip Ganassi team. He was driving the 48 car, and so much fun to work with Tony again. He was phenomenal from start to finish, and it was in contention, but had some issues early in the race.
So Tony Stewart loses the lead and second place to Scott Speed and Ernie Francis Jr. Now he's got Helio Castroneves kind of peeking around the back corners of that orange machine.
Shall we talk to Tony?
He's game.
Tony, it's Dario up in the booth, running third there. How are you getting on?
I'm not sure I'm happy with my change on the brake here, but it's got a long way to go here. Take care of it here.
Got that Helio Castroneves guy behind you. You think you can keep him there?
I don't know. He's probably checking his hair in the mirror, so he was pretty tough that last segment. So we're gonna have to run hard enough to stay ahead of him. I couldn't hold Ernie off, so they got a hell of a race going on in front of me.
Go fast, take chances.
For the race lead up front.
Tell me what I need to do different. I'm obviously not doing it right. Good pass, but lead there.
He's talking and driving quite happily.
A lot of fun. All right, Castroneves looking for Stewart on third as the new leader is Ernie Francis Jr. All the way to the top spot in our main event. Here's Castroneves. How about Francis Jr. just making that bottom side of this tough racetrack work?
And the whole way out of the corner, he's sliding the back of the car, sliding the tires. He might be using up his tires a bit, but he's doing it to go forwards. What a great pass by Ernie Francis Jr. Guy who's a 7-time Trans Am champion, but this is an oval, and look at the caliber of people he's racing against. Incredible job.
So someone you know well, Scott Goodyear, long-time IndyCar competitor, and came within a whisker of winning the Indianapolis 500, is the race director for that open-wheel series that Ernie Francis Jr. is racing in addition to SRX, in addition to Trans Am. This is the praise that Scott, our mutual friend, offered about Ernie. He said he's got a little AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, and Tony Stewart in them, in that he can jump back and forth between all these different types of cars and adapt so quickly.
Okay then, that is high praise indeed. You know, Scott, typical taciturn Canadian. He's not once forgiven praise where it's not due. That's big. I'm not sure Tony Kanaan would give him quite that praise, but what a great job he's doing. We're on board with Helio Castroneves, augmented reality. Look, Helio's put all kinds of pressure on Tony Stewart. I think Tony's having to use every part of his skill to keep Helio behind, but Helio's down the inside and he's made the pass.
Now behind Stewart, Michael Waltrip and Bobby Labonte side by side. Waltrip in the blue car, Labonte in the teal.
Bobby Labonte's just sitting there, Alan, on the outside, just looking after his tires, nothing too crazy yet.
So like him.
So like, yeah, I remember watching him when I first came over here in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was the one thing I thought. He thought about the end of the race the whole way through.
Bobby is a behind-the-wheel tactician, for sure. And, of course, has a lot of experience at this racetrack. And really, really wants to win one of these things, by the way.
I could tell that last week. I mean, we saw earlier, we saw those eyes. I was pointing out to you in the camera. You see those eyes, this intensity in the eyes of all the drivers here. They might be a bit older, a bit a few more wrinkles, but they've all got that pride and that ego of a racing driver. They all want to still go out and win.
He's going to get by Tony Stewart and pick up 4th spot. Here comes Michael Waltrip to the inside of Stewart. So the smoke show is not going forward tonight like he was able to the last couple of weeks on the dirt.
I'd have lost a lot of money on that. I thought Tony was going to head off and stink up the show, quite honestly.
Especially when he was starting on pole position for the main event.
Yeah, just so accomplished in these type of cars, and it just hasn't happened yet.
So you heard Tony talk about the changes he and his crew chief made during the break, not necessarily working out. Wayne Wormy, the car chief for Labonte's car, and Tony Uri Jr., the crew chief on that car tonight. And these are the changes they made.
So air pressure in the right front takes them out in the rear. So the car was probably a bit nervous on the rear, so that would allow the front to slide a bit more, bring the car more into balance. You're always searching for balance, with the front and the rear working together. Because if the front slides too much or the rear slides too much, you cannot carry the momentum that's required. And it changes over the race as well. 21 laps already into that 76 lap race.
Yep, doesn't take long. This is a fast racetrack.
I think that's one of the reasons the respect's been there between the drivers, is because it's such a fast track. They're not playing around. They're not sort of on dirt as they were last week, and they were able to bash into each other a bit. A lot of different lines actually being used now as well. And take it, like we talked about the brake temperatures as well, and that's where some of the experienced drivers will come to the fore. And Elio, I mean, in an IndyCar, you go as hard as you can from lap 1 to the end of the race, but I think you're going to be a bit more careful here, as we see Scott Speed and Elio. I think IndyCar is one of the few things that Scott Speed might not have actually driven. So he looks in his mirror and sees the red car of current Indy 500 winner Elio Castroneves.
And one of the things that all the guys that drive Indy cars talked about having to adapt to here. IndyCar, you charge the corner, charge the corner, charge the corner.
That's what downforce does for you. It's a wonderful thing, yeah.
You've got to, not here.
Not here, no, absolutely not. That big wing looks really cool, but there's not too much downforce, which is exactly what you want, because you can run close. I mean, look, on camera, look how close the guys are running to each other. It's Tony Kanaan, Bobby Santos Jr.
Yeah,
or Bobby Santos III, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about Bobby. 35-year-old from Franklin, Massachusetts. He is, he runs everything that has open wheels usually. He's done some NASCAR racing as well. His grandfather raced modifieds all over New England. And when I was a kid going to races at Seekonk Speedway, that is his grandfather, Bob Santos. Now, one of the reasons I kind of loved watching him race, remember the Fritos packages where they had the character, the Frito Bandito? Well, that was what the track announcer called Bob Santos. And so as a kid, I loved watching Bob Santos race because he was the Frito Bandito.
I love that. So I watched Bobby Santos III drive in the modified up there at Loudon, and it was quite something to see on that track. It was more like a slipstream and sort of bump drafting and stuff. He's not bump drafting right now though. He's trying to put a pass on Tony Kanaan as we go into yellow.
Caution out, the SRX green flag lap limit in our main event tonight. Bobby Santos competing for the AJ Foyt Championship at this racetrack. He'll run a midget later tonight. And he's 1 point separated from second place in the championship. The other guy, well, that's Cody Swanson, last week's local all-star.
I don't know. I mean, I think they look good, man.
Smooth. They are a little tight.
Like, too tight? Might just need to break them in a little bit because you don't want them too loose.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
True.
With 24/7 roadside assistance.
Okay, think I'm gonna wear these home.
Excellent choice.
I've got moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Sky Rizzy.
Things are getting clearer. I feel free to bare my skin. Yeah, that's all me. Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin. That's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Achieve clearer skin with Sky Rizzy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clearer skin in 4 months. Of those, nearly 9 out of 10 sustained it through 1 year. And Sky Rizzy is 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
I see nothing in a different way. It's my moment, so I just gotta say, nothing is everything.
Skyrizi may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or coughs, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Nothing is everything.
Now is the time to ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi.
These used cars look the same, but how can you tell which one's the better deal?
Bring in Dad from Sarasota? Hey, Dad.
This one's broken.
Dads are great, but let's say, show me the Carfax value. You'll get the most accurate price based on the vehicle's accident history. Look for me and stop overpaying. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
The Camping World SRX Series in Indianapolis tonight, and together with Camping World, let's raise $1 million to battle food insecurity in our communities. Camping World will match all individual donations up to $500,000. Learn more at platingchange.com today. Superstar Saturday night live on CBS. Under caution in our main event at Lucas Oil Raceway with young 23-year-old Ernie Francis Jr. leading this race. Young driver really putting on a show in the opening laps. The question is, has he used up a little too much to go another, 46 laps of racing?
48. I didn't just do that math on the...
You looked at the computer.
I looked at the computer, yeah, absolutely. No, Ernie Francis has done a phenomenal job so far to get there, to stay ahead. This yellow flag period, this caution will be good for him. Cool the tires down a bit, cool the brakes, but it's got Elio Castroneves right behind him. Scott Speed's going to be alongside him. I think that's the danger point. He needs to try and make a break quickly if he wants to keep this lead.
All right, so while we get the field sorted out for the restart, you've got Francis Jr., then Scott Speed, then Elio Castroneves running third.
Let's talk to Elio. This will surprise me. Elio, it's Dario in the booth. How are you?
My man Dario, what's up, buddy?
How are you, pal? Have you got your baby Borg Warner trophy in the car with you or what?
I know, right? I don't have it here, but I tell you what, I hope the fans are enjoying taking pictures with it.
Yes, they are. You're doing a great job, man. What have you got to do to get to the front?
I need to be on the outside. Hopefully I can be that, and that's what I'm waiting for.
Good man.
Great talk to you, buddy.
And you, my friend.
Elio was talking about how much fun he's had driving these different types of cars and different kind of tracks. And he said to me, driving new things interests me. I'd like to try something like maybe the Daytona 500.
He's having the time of his
Right?
life, right? He really is. He came back for that one-off deal at Indy this year with Michael Shank. And what a great job he did. I mean, again, from one of our guys, Alex Palou, Chip Ganassi team finished second, but Elio, he timed that to perfection, and he deserved that. So I think there's a good chance we'll see him back in IndyCar full time next year.
I think there's a pretty good chance, yes. Tony Stewart questioned when he talked to us about the change they made during the break. Here is his radio.
Tony, is it just getting worse for us? Yeah, I mean, I'm back to my entry up. I'm trying to sneak rear brake back in and trying to do everything I can to be easy on the front. It's just the 2/3 to 3/4 mark is way worse than it was. At least before I could get turned, I just couldn't get back in the gas at that point. Now I can't even get turned. But I mean, my forward drive's better, but I can't get rotated to get in the gas.
That's Tony on the radio with Tim Clausen, the 2011 USAC Crew Chief of the Year, USAC National Titleist in 2018 and 2019 with Clausen Marshall Racing, and he is Tony's Crew Chief hookup tonight.
And Brian Clausen's father.
Yes.
And a really good man.
So you see, Tony has lost 4 spots since the start of the race. Ernie Francis Jr. is the guy moving forward. He's gained 4 spots. Francis in the yellow car has chosen the outside lane. Scott Speed to his inside. Poor Elio, he wanted the outside lane. He's going to be on the inside for the restart. Scott Speed going to try and hang in that bottom lane to the inside of Francis. Not quite able to make it stick.
Bobby Labonte's cleared Helio Castroneves as well. So these guys have got to regroup. Helio's trying to get close on the exit. Ernie Francis Jr. again, he's made that gap. As you see Helio Castroneves on the inside of Bobby Labonte, can he keep the car down there and get back to the throttle?
Remember that great save he made trying to make a low pass earlier in one of the heat races? That was on Paul Tracy he was trying to go for.
Oh, there's Tony Stewart to the outside. Start to march back towards the front.
A little 3 wide, that's not going to work off that corner.
Yeah, and Marco wasn't doing that on purpose. That was just 3 into 2, wouldn't go. And you can see Bobby Santos taking advantage of that. Tony Kanaan on the inside trying to get past his old mate Marco Andretti.
From a racing perspective, it's been a big point of conversation with some of the drivers. They're so used to racing with a spotter. Somebody up on top of the grandstand hooked up on a radio to them, telling them when someone's to their inside or outside. They don't have that here.
No, and it's really difficult with these wraparound seats for safety. They wrap right around the side of your head to hold your head in the event of an accident. Unfortunately, it cuts a lot of your visibility off. So it's a tough thing that these guys are trying to do, especially, as you say, Alan, when you become so used to it. Bobby Santos made a big move. Oh,
we have a little contact here.
Look back at Kanaan and Tracy. No, I think Paul drove into the wall himself. There wasn't any contact. Tony did not push him. They did push him there, but look, there's actually no contact. Paul Tracy hits the wall before Tony Kanaan gets anywhere close to him. So, sorry, TK.
PT not done yet.
No, and that's the problem when you pass Paul. When he thinks you've done that to him, the next braking zone could be pretty interesting. And Kanaan sliding the back end of the car out off of turn 4. Let's see if he can get away from Paul Tracy from the danger zone.
That could be a good thing.
Yes. But Paul Tracy doing a great job down the bottom of the circuit. Is he using his tyres up too much to try and keep up with Tony Kanaan?
So unlike the first race of the series at Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut, where they ran 100 laps, all on the tires they already ran the 2 heat races on, tonight they got a fresh set of Goodyear tires before the main event. So they should have more left to race with at the end. But a common theme for the drivers, if you make the tires angry, they're going to stay mad for a while. What does it mean by making the tires angry?
Yeah, when you slide the car a bit, you put too much pressure into the slip angle of the tires start to heat up, and it's a vicious circle because it starts to slide a bit more, they heat up even more, and it just gets worse, and eventually you cannot recover from that unless there's a caution flag. So, and experience counts for so much. We're just watching Helio Castroneves' heartbeat, look, 140, 344. He's pretty fit, as old Helio. He has to be at his age to drive a racing car, but no, he works hard at his fitness, and you can see that some drivers are constantly above 170, and others are nice and maybe nice and easy. And as hot as it's getting in these SRX cars, that's going to bring the pulse up a wee bit too.
I want to see what heart rate telemetry shows us next week at Slinger when they're racing on a quarter mile. That's a little wall contact from Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, probably, I think just misjudged. The car was sliding a bit, he just couldn't arrest that slide enough. He got either crack out the throttle or hit the wall, and he chose to hit the wall there. And Helio Castroneves still shadowing him. You can see the red of Castroneves' car in the rear mirror. And Helio going to the inside. Labonte looks like he's struggling with the front of the car. He's put a lot of wheel into the car to get it to turn.
And the quick look up in the mirror by Bobby. Yeah, he knows Helio's there. He wants to make sure he knows where.
Exactly right. And Helio, again, is one of those guys I think you can trust a bit more. He's not going to do anything crazy on purpose. He might misjudge. But if he's ahead of you, he's a hard guy to pass. Absolutely. See everybody, those 3 cars, Scott Speed, Bobby Labonte, Helio Castroneves, really migrating to the outside of the circuit just now, trying to take some pressure off the tires and use the banking as much as possible.
You mentioned Helio and possible prospects for next season. I talked with Helio extensively about, this year and things going about the way they were. He didn't have a full-time ride lined up. He got a part-time ride in IndyCar. He came over and won the Indianapolis 500. He signed up with SRX. He's having a blast doing this. He said, a number isn't going to make me stop. And his age. Now the number, of course, is 4. That means everything for Helio. Matt, any other numbers for Castroneves?
Well, he'd love to add a number 1 with an SRX victory. Now think about it, the last 7 months, IMSA championship, Rolex 24 victory, Indy 500 victory. Now tonight he added a heat. He'd love to score the big trophy though, but Tony going in, he had to really change his mindset running these cars on the bull rings because, like Dario mentioned earlier, he so wants to charge the corner, so he has to do a reset with his mindset and back up his corner. He also told me going to tonight, he knew the tires were going to be important. It's a little bit like an Oreo cookie, he said. If you eat that frosting early, there's not much good left, so he's got to pace himself, just like when eating a cookie.
There's a good way to explain it.
It's a very good analogy, and unfortunately, it's the last cookie in the box as well.
Yeah.
They're not giving you another one. So Elio mentioned, at the ripe old age, it would have been 45 years old. He won the IMSA championship last year. I think his first championship in cars.
It was, yes.
And obviously now 4-time Indy 500 winner, but to get that first championship, I think was a big weight off his mind. And we never gave him a hard time about not winning a championship.
Really?
No, none of us would do something.
I can't imagine. Now, Castroneves is still trying to find a way around Bobby Labonte for third position. And yellow flag will wave over leader Ernie Francis Jr. off of turn number 4 as we hit the second of our SRX green flag lap limits. Relatively clean race tonight so far. No incidents. Some scars on the sides of the cars from some rubbing. I believe Hinch used the phrase rubbing his racing last week, borrowed from Days of Thunder.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong. Well, what a night for Ernie Francis Jr. so far here in Indianapolis.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
RV ready to go? Water. We waiting for? Oopsie doopsie. It's the battery.
Hey folks. Uh-oh. Open hood, never good.
We brought some oranges because we are out of juice.
Let's get you back on the road. Good Sam Roadside Assistance covers all your vehicles. And just like that battery, your jump start is free of charge.
What?
Make every trip a good trip. Good Sam. Everything you need to have a good trip.
My name is Douglas. I'm a writer, director, and I'm still working. In the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. I had to get help somewhere along the line to stay competitive. I discovered Prevagen. I started taking it, and after a period of time, my memory improved. It was a game changer for me.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Hi, Verizon launched the first 5G network, and now we want to be the first to give everyone the joy of 5G by giving every customer a new 5G phone on us. Old customers, new customers, families, businesses, in-laws, law firms. Every customer, new 5G phones when you trade in your old ones. And if you're not a customer, we'll help cover the cost to switch. Just ask Wanda. She's been with us since now. Upgrade your phone, upgrade your network.
Alone, chicken, onions, peppers, and cheese have potential. Together, they have a purpose, a destiny, and a name. Because grilled to order makes a sub above.
50 laps down, 26 to go in our main event tonight in the Camping World SRX Series at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. Under the yellow, Bill Elliott has come to pit road. Let's check with Matt.
And under SRX rules, under yellow, if you hit pit road, no matter how long, you will not lose a lap. Bill said he had a vibration, and the SRX guys just checking to make sure that all the lugs were tight, seeing if there might be something amiss with one of the tires. Looking things over right now on this number 9, trying to get him back out there.
Yeah, Bill banged up a little bit in last Saturday night's race at Eldora in that late big crash, so Bill cracked a bone at the back of where his right thumb meets his wrist bone. And he's wearing that brace under his driving glove tonight. Bill said to me, you know what the interesting part was? He said, I'm on Medicare now.
So is he 65
years old?
Awesome,
he said, so I went through all this and got to check out the Medicare system.
I mean, that's the thing. He doesn't have to do this.
Right. And that he was not giving up his race car in this race tonight.
Why do you think Bill Elliott achieved in his career what he achieved? You know, it's talent, but he's got to be stubborn too, right?
Desire. And the reason he's here, he said, I'm still competitive.
Yep.
And there he is. He's had a rough go of it so far, a couple of mechanical issues, and then caught up in that crash not of his own making last Saturday at Eldora, but here he is out there with that brace on the right wrist and plugging along.
That's not going to feel pleasant. Trust me, I've driven a few broken bones in my time. It's never much fun. It definitely takes away from the enjoyment, especially when the adrenaline stops.
Bill said he went to the doctors. They asked him, "Are you allergic to anything?" He said, "Yes, pain."
Actually, I was okay with pain. It was mild discomfort that used to annoy me.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're doubling up the field. We're going to get ready to go back racing. And it's been the Ernie Francis Jr. show so far tonight in this main event. The 23-year-old who practiced up at Road America in Wisconsin in his Trans Am car, drove the 5 hours down here to Indianapolis. Overnight, came here today, had to miss qualifying for Trans Am, which is where he's won his 7 straight championships. He'll start last in the main event there tomorrow. 5-hour drive away. The green flag's at 8:10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Talk about desire.
So when they get done, he will sleep in the back seat of the car while his family drives from here to Elkhart Lake.
That's old school. Well done, Ernie. He had a trophy with him.
Yeah.
Make the drive a lot shorter, I bet.
You think? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He is a delightful young guy to talk to. He's got obvious talent and a big personality. And his thing for being here in this series, racing against all these other superstars, is to introduce Ernie Francis Jr. to the broader motorsport world.
He's definitely done that, hasn't he?
He's in the yellow car on the outside. Scott Speed is to his inside. We go racing with what'll be 23 laps to go in the main event tonight.
Fabulous jump by Ernie Francis Jr.
Oh, Bobby Labonte looking 3 wide down low off turn number 2. And 3 wide back there. Paul Tracy out to the outside. Tony Stewart and Marco Andretti down low.
And Tony Stewart really struggling holding up the inside line. And Kanan, Stewart all back there. The last person I expected to see back there tonight was Tony Stewart. He must have a big handling imbalance.
I'm going to guess, since he started on pole position, that Tony's the last person Tony expected to see back there tonight.
Not wrong, Alan. It just looks like he's using a lot of lock mid-corner to get the car turned. So he had to back up his corner as well. Ernie Francis Jr. still leading. Helio Castroneves, big slide off the 4.
Here comes Bobby Santos III, looking to the inside. He was way back in the pack for a lot of the beginning of this main event. Did the local all-star have the secret strategy?
He might know how much the tires wear and what he's going to do to keep the tires for this last sort of 20-lap shootout. That great restart shot from the drone, and Ernie Francis Jr. is gone already.
Oh, Tracy got the wall.
Yeah. And then Paul, look at the runny though. He gets off at turn 2, and the door gets closed. This is funny. Michael Waltrip maybe repaying a favor from earlier, just closing that lane down. Didn't put him in the wall, just closed the lane.
That could have been ugly. That was a good job of jabbing the brakes there by PT for sure.
Which is not normally in his repertoire. Just keep the foot in. But he's learning. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
And I know there's some folks that say, hey, we're giving Paul a hard time, making him out to be the bad guy. Listen, he revels in being the aggressive driver, being the one that's going for it at all times. That is Paul Tracy.
He loves it. He gets that little glint in his eye, that little smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Alan. He absolutely loves it. And he's working the wheel, but look, he's got his elbows up style.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, this is a guy that bought an Olympia prototype car just so he could play with in his spare time. On board with Helio Castroneves again, still trying to get past Bobby Labonte. Can't make it happen though. Gains through the middle of the corner, the distance, the shorter distance, but he can't get back to the throttle with enough authority to get the drive off, to get the overlap, to make the pass on Bobby Labonte.
I know I've said how impressed I've been with how much Helio has adapted to all these different kinds of cars. You know him and raced against him for so many years. How impressive has it been to you to see him and TK and Marco come to these cars? I mean, you made a transition from IndyCar to stock cars in your career, and you know how difficult it is.
Difficult's a word.
Yeah.
No, he's absolutely done a great job. You know, the sports car thing was not that difficult a transition. Yeah. This is a whole different ball game, and Helio is doing a fabulous job.
Young driver from Davie, Florida, Ernie Francis Jr. is out front. Lindsay has the family nearby, I believe.
Yeah, Alan, I'm standing beside his father, Ernie Francis Sr. These two, I mean, this has been a father-son effort. What is it like for you
I mean, this is incredible to see him in the front. You know, we've been going at this for years, and to see him showcase himself in front of true champions is really, it's incredible. It's a moment that we can't explain.
What is it like for you?
It's more than anything. It's incredible that we can share this.
He told me today that he sometimes surprises himself when he comes into this series. Does he do the same for you?
Yes, yes.
Alan?
Those are the two drivers that'll shuttle Ernie back to Road America tonight. 320-something miles in 5 hours, so he can be ready to race tomorrow morning at 8:10, starting at the back of the pack.
It's a family affair. That's phenomenal that he gets to go to the races with his dad. I love doing that. My dad was at most of my IndyCar races. You know, Paul Tracy's dad, all these guys. It's so cool to see. And actually, he's on board augmented reality again. But he's really carrying some RPM into the corner. He's getting off the corner well and carrying the speed down the straight. He's sort of gone to, I would say, 2/3 of the way to the wall line at the moment. He's in a different zip code right now to the other guys, aren't they?
Well, when you get to be in a different zip code, sometimes things happen to bring you back to the pack. We've seen it happen many times in races in the final laps. There are 11 to go here. It's the last thing Ernie wants to see, but sometimes it happens.
Yeah, you do not want to see a caution right now if you're Ernie Francis Jr. And I think I cursed him. Sorry, Ernie.
All right, call it the announcer jinx, or we'll call it the green flag lap limit. But we'll put the pace car out, we'll double them up, and we'll get ready for a shootout to the finish here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Getting down to it on Superstar Saturday night. Who's going to be the biggest star?
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
It's a bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Flo from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here.
Super fun beach day, everybody.
Our passion for protecting vehicles started in 1934. And we've been pushing the limits of performance ever since. We innovate with the times and have the right filters to fit your needs. It's a trust we don't take lightly. Yeah, we've been around the block, but our journey is just beginning. Fram for the road ahead.
Well, 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 look at you. You mastered the master bath. You created your own style. And you, yes you, turned a sourdough starter into a sourdough finisher. So when you learn your chronic dry eye is actually caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation, you take it on by talking to your eye care professional about Restasis, which may help you make more of your own tears with continued use twice a day, every day. Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the bottle tip to your eye or other surfaces. Wait 15 minutes after use before inserting contact lenses. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation. Ask your eye care professional about Restasis. Now to trick out these lights. Visit Restasis.com to learn more.
We've seen some Independence Weekend fireworks in the air in the reaches around Lucas Oil Raceway. Will we see some fireworks on the track as we come down to the finish of our main event on Superstar Saturday night?
I like what you did there, Alan. Yeah, I think you absolutely will. This last restart business is picking up. The slightest gain or loss is going to have a much bigger effect. So you've got to be perfect on this restart or you'll lose a lot of spots.
The guy with the best opportunity to gain is Scott Speed in the gold car down to the inside. What does he need to do here?
He's just got to get through the gears. I heard him hit the limiter a couple of times before. Helio Castroneves is also a man to watch. He's on the outside now, and he can really, if he gets a good restart, push Ernie Francis all the way into turn one and then set about trying to pass him.
Will push come to shove? Who's going to win it? We're down to the final stages. Look at Speed trying to stay right there with Francis Jr. Green flag. Here we go.
Oh, Ernie Francis Jr. got loose off the turn 4. And the inside row, he's back to second.
Scott Speed to the race lead. Bobby Labonte trying Francis for second. Castroneves is tangled up with Marco Andretti off turn 2 and a spin. Tony Kanaan is around. Yellow flag is out.
And Kanaan manages to keep it out of the wall, but I think he's flattened all 4 tires.
Did someone say something about fireworks?
I think they might have. I think I saw Tony do that very thing in an IndyCar at Loudon, but then he hit there was a port John on the other side of the wall.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, Tony just got loose down low trying to get back to the throttle. Did a really good job of keeping the car out of the wall, though. You see the tires pop, especially the left front. Oh, bit of contact. Yeah, Tony was just trying to keep the throttle down, couldn't hold the car down.
Yep.
That's it. All that smoke, luckily it was near the back. Well, this will be good from the visor cam. Tim Feather in the throttle. Oh, Michael comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, apologies, TK. Michael also came down and really cut the road off, and I would say caused that problem.
So Tony Kanaan will have to try and regather himself at the back end of the field, and we double him up. Come into the restart here, and Scott Speed will take the inside line for the restart with Ernie Francis Jr. to the outside.
Interesting call, Scott Speed. Ernie Francis definitely got too wide coming off of turn 4 to the restart, but Tony Kanaan, those tires are going to be square. They're not going to be round after that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't come in and plead for some new ones.
All right, so we're at the point now where caution laps no longer count. So everything from here to the checkered flag has to be green flag laps.
Could be a while.
Look at Francis Jr. trying to get the restart jump on Scott Speed. They're going to go early, but they're all going to go green flag. 6 laps to go.
Neck and neck as they cross the start-finish line, and they're banging into each other into turn 1. Speed's leaning on Francis Jr. on the outside.
Oh man, this is going to be fun.
Scott Speed braking as late as he dares. He doesn't want to lose the back end. Oh, you heard it slide. He moves up the track.
Contact off the corner, almost a dead heat. They're still bumping and banging back to turn 1.
And all the etiquette's out the window now. He's like, okay, that's the game you're playing. Oh, big slide from Ernie Francis Jr. and again, more contact.
Bobby Labonte waiting to make sure he can evade if something goes wrong in front of him.
You can see the guys trying to diamond the corner, using all the roads in the middle of 4. Oh, massive slide from Scott Speed. And as he held it.
What a save!
You're good. Clear.
A phenomenal save from Scott Speed, but I think his right rear tire is just on fire right now.
He has used that car up trying to race for the win. So it's Labonte and Castroneves now for second. Francis Jr. has gotten away. 3 wide to the bottom, off turn 4. Marco Andretti, and somehow they all came out of the corner.
Marco Andretti is doing a fabulous job. Up 3 since the start of the race. Oh, bit of a nudge.
Yeah.
Bobby Santos the third.
Tempers are beginning to boil a little bit back there.
I see the 13 car involved as well with Paul Tracy and the yellow car to the outside. Santos just continually feeding the bumper to Marco Andretti. Listen to the full spin off the corner from Marco.
Scott Speed fighting for all he can to hold on to third spot. Contact, Santos into Tracy. And the caution is out.
Tracy was really lucky to get away with that. He didn't stay on the brakes and ran down the track. Oh, and Elio and Scott Speed under caution getting together.
What happened there? Big damage to the Castroneves right front corner.
I think there might have been a slight disagreement, difference of opinion, shall we say.
All right, and so we finished the lap count with 2 to go. What happened here?
Santos the third to the inside, up, pushes right up into Paul Tracy. Nothing Paul Tracy did wrong there at all. But then watch as he comes down close.
That was Willie T. Ribs. Great job of avoiding.
Phenomenal job from Willie T. Ribs. think that Paul was just used up there.
Now, the Scott Speed and Castroneves thing. See if we can decipher that.
I think the yellow's out. You see the...
Yeah.
So did he not see that the yellow came out? Or did he do that on purpose? Let's see from Elio's side of things. That's Bobby Labonte ahead.
Oh, I see. That
Okay.
was a payback from that.
So you saw the car moving. That was Scott Speed, I think, getting into the left rear of Elio, and that was a little payback. Elio's not playing so nicely anymore. Oh, another little nudge. Oh, the big nudge. And another nudge.
Getting his money's worth.
Yeah, he really is at this point. Ray Evans going, oh, I think I want to be the fiberglass guy, the guy that supplies the fiberglass to the series. Yeah.
There's the first part. All right.
Yeah, that was pretty blatant by Scott into the left rear quarter. So by this point, Elio's pulse is not 139 anymore.
You think?
Oh, no. Yeah, there's a bit of damage there. See the cooling hoses for the brake system.
Yeah.
Dampers. There you go, if you want to see what a racing car looks like underneath. There's a camera, that's the...
Is that Bill Elliott's car?
Yeah. There we go. It's always the cameras that get it. You ever noticed that?
Well, that's why we have a lot of them. Well, this should be kind of interesting because now we've got angry people. We've got 2 laps to go in the race and another restart, and now it's going to be Bobby Labonte next to Ernie Francis Jr. up front with an angry Elio Castroneves right behind them.
Bobby Labonte sniffs the win. Look out. If I was on that in one of those cars right now, I'd be just pulling the belts a little tighter, just, you know.
Let me tie some things together there. When Bobby won his race here back in 1991, he was running second, and Chuck Bound, great NASCAR, then Busch Series driver, was leading, and Chuck's safety belts came loose inside the car, and he had to slow down to reattach them, and Bobby got by him, and that's how Bobby won the race.
Yeah, it's so difficult to drive when the belts go.
Yeah,
I've tried it once.
Not the thing you want, right?
Not much fun, no.
Yeah. So they're picking up some debris, some of the fiberglass out on the racetrack that got shed and all of those collisions and things. And we're going to have a couple of laps under the yellow here, and you have the radio microphone in hand. Who are you going to go for?
I think Bobby Labonte, yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Bobby Labonte, it's Dario in the booth. Running P2, can you sniff the win?
Yeah, hey man. I guess you're going to Goodwood next week. I'll miss you there. But yeah, we're so tight. There's no way I'm going to get around Ernie unless something happens. But we'll just give it our best shot here. So we'll see. But you never know. Obviously, these last caution flags get kind of crazy. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think tonight's a night for surprises. So all the best, and yeah, I'll see you at Goodwood possibly next year.
I hope so. Good. What you want?
Have a good one, Bobby.
Of course, the Goodwood Festival of Speed over in England, one of the great motor car events. Is that how you say it over there? The motor car events?
Yeah, I think that might be the first time that Goodwood's ever been mentioned.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil Raceway.
That's exactly true. All right, we're furiously dialing the radio up to see if we can talk to the young race leader, Ernie Francis Jr.
Let's have a word. Ernie Francis Jr. It's Dario up in the TV booth. You're having a good night. Couple of more laps to go. How's it feeling?
Looks like the last 10 laps taking forever now. Thought we had it there, and then that caution came out, really making it hard for us out here. But car's feeling really good. Just kind of trying to focus on the restart, get a good start, and try and hold it to finish.
Good man. I think a P1 trophy would make that drive to Road America a little bit more pleasant overnight.
Definitely would be. Definitely make that drive a lot better. Hopefully we can make it happen.
You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Ernie Francis Jr.
Very calm.
Well, he may be expressing calm, but I think, on the inside, he's very...
That's half the battle, isn't it?
And by the way, and Dad is twice as tense as Ernie is.
It's always the way.
Oh,
I hate watching friends and family members race.
Yeah.
I was much calmer doing it myself.
Well, he knows what this would mean for his son And of course, what they've already accomplished just by how well he's performed here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
over those 7 in a row Trans Am championships.
Yeah. But racing against, Bobby Labonte and Helio Castroneves and Tony Stewart and beating them all. Okay.
On an oval.
Yeah. Coming to 1 to go. So we'll get the 1 to go signal. We have 2 laps left to go on our feature. So it's a green-white checker to decide our main event. And there are, in SRX racing, unlimited attempts at a green-white checker finish. Could be the last 2 laps. Might not be, just saying.
It's pretty interesting. That's an understatement. That might be the understatement of the night. Look for Marco Andretti though, P4 on the outside. Yeah. Damaged car of Scott Speed. 3rd on the inside.
How about this? Ernie Francis Jr. was born 7 years after Bobby Labonte won that race I was talking about here at Lucas Oil Raceway in 1991. All right. Pace car better hurry to get away because they're already beginning to accelerate in turn 3. Labonte inside in the teal car. Ernie Francis Jr. in the yellow car on the outside. 2 laps to go. Green flag is out.
Stunning slide from Ernie Francis Jr. coming off at turn 4. He's managed to stay to the outside of Bobby Labonte.
Just clears him off too.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte being, I have to say, very kind there. Didn't really push the issue. Marco Andretti going on the high side of Scott Speed though.
White flag, we're going into the last lap of the race. Ernie Francis Jr., Bobby Labonte, there's Scott Speed and Marco Andretti racing for 3rd spot.
Marco Andretti 4th again. Scott Speed slips up coming off at 2. Marco wants that podium finish.
And Bobby Santos Jr., the local all-star, will challenge him. That's going to be close in 3. We're off of turn number 4. An SRX Series checkered flag for Ernie Francis Jr. at Indianapolis.
Good job.
That's incredible, man.
What a job by the young man being challenged by some of the best in the business.
Keeping a cool head. Phenomenal job by Ernie Francis Jr., 23 years old, winning in a field like this. Incredible.
By 18 years, the youngest winner in the Superstar Racing experience so far in our debut season. I'm sure it'll be a great victory interview when we talk with Ernie next from Indianapolis.
We've got a lot of action, fireworks at the track. Matt Yoakum standing by.
Two and a half months ago on SRX Media Day, Ernie Francis Jr. looked around and you could not believe the group of legendary drivers that you were standing around. What's it mean to beat that group here tonight?
Man, I'm totally speechless. This is incredible. Man, those last 10, 15 laps, they felt like it was an eternity out there.
What about Ernie Francis?
Hell yeah. Those last 10 to 15 laps felt like they were taking forever. All the cautions, I was just trying to focus on a good restart. Me and Scott Speed went at it for a few laps there side to side. I didn't know how that was going to end up. Got a few donuts on the car, but man, couldn't be happier with it. This is super incredible, and just can't thank everybody from SRX, Ray Everham, Tony Stewart for giving me this opportunity, our partners, Wings and Wheels Foundation, Future Star Racing, the Bonacani Fund. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is going to make that drive to Road America tomorrow a lot better.
The last 3 restarts, you had different issues in different ways. The last one, you were sideways coming to the green. What was it like, a sense of relief when you finally pulled in front and you could see him in your mirror?
Yeah, I was playing around with gearing, trying to see what would work. Second gear was spinning off turn 4 there, so I tried to roll through 3rd. And that last restart, man, I got real sideways, but I stayed in it. I didn't want to lift there. And man, when I saw that I cleared Labonte there, that was a good feeling. I knew I just had to get through a few turns clean, and just ran my race and took it home.
Congratulations, Ernie Francis Jr. He's got some extra baggage going back with him to Elkhart Lake tonight. Lindsay?
Oh, goodness. And if you thought he was nervous, how about his dad watching those final laps? Here's a look at your final results from Lucas Oil Raceway tonight, our 4th race in the Camping World SRX Series. Ernie Francis Jr. making history all the way down. You see Bill Elliott wrapping it up. This just happened. Fireworks at the racetrack. Helio Castroneves and Scott Speed getting into it. They're talking to each other, getting a bit heated. What I can tell you we saw right after this was Helio walking fast, very briskly, walking away, obviously fed up about something. We want to give you a look now at our remaining schedule. Saturday night, Superstar Saturday night. Slinger Speedway is next week, and then we wrap things up at Nashville. Ernie Francis, your winner. Bobby Labonte holding off for second. Scott Speed finishing third. So for Alan Bestwick, Brad Doherty, Matt Yoakum, and Dario Franchitti, I'm Lindsay Zarniak saying so long from Lucas Oil Raceway. Coming up on CBS next 48 hours. Congratulations to Ernie Francis.